You are listening to the So Now What podcast with Lana Manikowski, episode number 49. So now what? These three words raced through my mind time and time again during my journey through fertility treatments. I tried desperately to have a child, but never was able. I yearned for a community to join that could understand my struggles. I couldn't find one, so I created one with the So Now What podcast. I love that you found us. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. And thank you for coming to listen to another episode of the So Now What podcast. As you know, I am getting close to my 52nd episode. Hard to believe it's going to be almost a year that I started this podcast. I started it out super simple just by deciding to tell my story for the first time, and it has flourished into something more amazing than I could have ever imagined. Since that first episode, I have been showing up here every week and continuously offering you opportunities to realize that you are not alone in this journey of yours. And even though you aspired and dreamed your whole life to become a mom, if that didn't happen to you, I show up here every week to let you know that the things you are thinking about your journey and the ways you're feeling about yourself for not being able to become a mom are not obscure, are not crazy, and let you know that you are not alone, that so many of us have felt the way that you feel today. And I show up every week letting you know that you can come to the other side of things, even if you're feeling sadness and belief that your life could never feel full and abundant unless you could become a mom. So I'll ask you to please, if you have yet to rate and review the podcast, one of my goals is to have reached 10,000 unique downloads by my 52nd episode, which will be in early September. And I've known that the algorithm gods will farm this episode and farm this podcast out to other women who are searching for resources within fertility if I have rating and reviews actively being put up about the podcast. So that is my main mission and goal for why I even became a certified coach, why I started this podcast, was to help women with infertility know that they're not alone on this journey, and that no matter how many rounds of IVF you have or haven't done, your infertility and your inability to become a mom does not have to define who you are the rest of your life. So if you would put a rating and review up, I would so appreciate that. In this week's topic, we are going to talk about having purpose. And it's something that I have worked with so many of my students on navigating, because I think we have this idea as women that our purpose is to become mothers and to give birth and to contribute to society through having a baby. We do not have to accept that as our definition of purpose, and can decide today that you no longer want to believe that your purpose in this world is to become a mom. It's not something that I've ever seen written anywhere, that when we were born on our birth certificates, we were told that our purpose is to have children and to become moms. So this week, we were going to talk about what it's like to decide your purpose. And I think, to be quite honest with you, we make it so much harder than it has to be. And I think that we've come to contrive this idea that your purpose and your reason for being here on this planet comes down to one sentence. And one definer, one adjective, whatever it is, decide now that it's not true. There's so many women I know that are mothers that have a purpose in my life that isn't being my mom. And there's so many people that I've encountered in my life that serve a purpose or fill a need that I've had in my life that aren't my biological mother. So if we're sitting here believing that the only reason that we don't have a purpose on this planet is because we're not a mom, we are wrong. You do not have to have the title of mom or have to have given birth to a child or be raising a child to have purpose in this world. I want to offer a couple thoughts for you to ponder and work on this week. So I want you to decide first, what purpose do you serve in your own life? And I think that is something that we just breeze past, and we don't ever question the purpose that we have when we wake up every day. What purpose do we want to serve in our own lives? I think we oftentimes think of a purpose as being something to somebody else or serving somebody else. And we're constantly looking for approvals or acknowledgement from other people in order to feel as though we have purpose in this world. And I'm going to tell you, if we continue to wait for other people to need us or fill a void that somebody else has in their life, we're constantly going to be yearning for a reason why we are in the existence of other people, when it's so much easier if we decide how we want to serve and show up every day in the existence of ourselves, and find an opportunity, whether it's before you go to bed every night or when you wake up in the morning. Decide 3 things either that you accomplished for the day that you just are laying your head on the pillow after, or decide in the morning 3 things that you want to accomplish. You can call them goals, you can call them purposes for your day, but start to decide that it doesn't just have to be one overarching umbrella that defines your whole life. You can serve purpose in your life every single day by taking care of tasks like working out, doing paper thinking, self-care. I mean, there are so many opportunities to do things for yourself and serve a purpose in your own life before you even need to worry about or ever have concern whether you're serving a purpose in somebody else's life. If you just allow yourself to consider that as an opportunity for a week, maybe 2, you'll start to see how many times you show up for yourself in your life that you have not taken an opportunity to recognize. And you'll start to get really good at deciding that you have opportunity each day to create magic for yourself. And this goes back, I think, a lot to feeling bad for, or thinking that you're selfish if you do things for yourself. So if you go back to my episode, gosh, I want to say it was maybe 42 or 43 about being selfish, listen to that episode and realize that doing for yourself is not a bad thing. It is actually the most nurturing and opportunity for growth that you can create in your life, is to show up for yourself. So decide what purpose you serve for yourself. And then also I want to talk about having purpose and that overarching umbrella that we believe one person walks around their whole life with a name badge that says, "Hello, my name is Lana, and my purpose is to be a mom." It's so not true. Think about the people that you've encountered. Think about teachers in your life. Think about people in your religious community. Think about a sibling, a cousin, a friend, a classmate. We have so many opportunities to serve purpose in other people's lives in so many different ways. Because I guarantee you, Mrs. Drennan, my 2nd grade teacher, who I remember so vividly and so kindly, she served a purpose of teaching me arithmetic. I remember that's where we'd go and do our addition and subtraction tables, and we would get to put a sticker on the wall if we did our addition and subtraction correctly. So she served a purpose of teaching me how to do basic math. Now, I'm sure that if you ask somebody else in their life who knew her outside of her classroom, Mrs. Drennan served a different purpose in their life. So when we can decide, or when we can start to open our mind to the possibility that we don't have to just have given birth to a child or be raising a child in order to have purpose in this world, we can free ourselves from this clamp that we have down on ourselves that we have no purpose. And I guarantee you that you waking up every day and first serving yourself and doing things for yourself that bring you closer to being the full version of you, and then you just showing up in your day, I guarantee you, or if I were to follow you around with a notebook and start asking the people that you interact with every day the purpose that you serve in their life, I promise you, we would come home with 15 different reasons or 15 different things that you provide others just by showing up every day and being you. So decide today that purpose doesn't have to always be about being a mom. And you are loved and you are so treasured by so many people by just waking up every day, opening up those beautiful eyeballs of yours and putting your feet on the ground and showing up as the truest version of you is the greatest purpose you can serve in this world. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I have no clue how to do this, I want to let you know that I am going to be launching my first small group coaching collective. And it is going to be magnificent. I want to tell you a little bit about the value you are going to get out of working in a small group fashion with me for 3 months. The price is $798. I promise you it'll never be that cheap again. But I wanted to open it up at a price that people who haven't had the opportunity to work with me can afford, and realize that after 3 months, you are going to have the most amazing tools to create a life that feels so full and so abundant, because we are going to get crystal clear on how to believe something different about yourself and your future if you can't become a mom. And the tools that I offer you, the best value that I think I could say about this 3 months we're going to have together is the learning doesn't end at 3 months. Because when I am finished and we come to a conclusion at December and you have the tools that I am going to be teaching you over the 3 months period that we're together, these tools are going to last you a lifetime. So you might be spending $798 now, but that $798 times the rest of your life is going to offer you some of the greatest opportunity to live the biggest and fullest and most exciting version of yourself. So I hope that you'll consider joining us. My wait list is getting fuller, and I want you to be part of this, because my goal every day when I put my feet on the floor, my purpose is to be the best example to you of what life could look like if you can't become a mom. And you will learn those same tools that I have gathered throughout my journey after being so hopeful and dreaming my whole life that I could only become a mom. And when that didn't happen to me, I didn't know where to go from that. So I am going to help you learn to love your life and love yourself and be excited about your future again, even though you won't be a mom. So if you're interested, send me a message. You know how to reach me. Stitch Coaching on Instagram, stitchcoaching.com on the internet. And I cannot wait to work with you. Have an awesome week. And remember, it is never too late to discover your meaning. I'll talk to you next week.